What a show we have for you tonight. If you know anything about the history of me or my partner Joe Townsel doing these podcasts, especially podcasts about Star Trek, you know a certain thing that is gonna come true again tonight. And if you don't know, well, you'll be here when it comes true tonight. One of the greatest things that ever happened to us is gonna happen again. It's time to get down.
Retro Trackers. Get down with the Retro Trackers. Captain John and Commander Joe. Retro Trackers. We love our Star Trek. Retro Trackers. The nerd muscles get the facts. Retro Trackers. Get down with the
Yeah. Oh my goodness, I should have cleared my throat. Oh yeah. What a show we have for you tonight. Welcome to Retro Trekkers, where two old guys invite their friends to come watch them talk about Star Trek. And I'm one of the old guys, but the other old guy is my delightful partner in crime. Do you know Commander Joe Townsel?
Hello, everybody. I am just in the bestest of moods, Captain, because not only do we have a great guest, but we also have a great episode. I know our guest loves the episode, so I think we should just bring him on in and get going.
All right. Calling to the bridge. Once an XO, once my XO, but we promoted him to Admiral because we needed a good person to be an Admiral for a change. And here he is. It's Flobo Boyce. Welcome back, Flobo.
Dang, Starbase 80. I love hanging out with you guys when I don't like today's episode, but that's okay. The good would outweigh the bad. It's Retro Trekkers.
Ensign Rosario is with us as well. Good to have you with us, Ensign.
Hey.
He went out and got his own shirt, man.
Yeah, you need to, of course.
Well, got to be in uniform, but that is very Admiral thinking, I think.
Okay, we are, of course, talking about our. Oh, good. There's Flobo.
I'm not doing anything. I'm not busy.
That other guy. Oh no, it's you got something to do in your spare time. Please, our chats are always the best. Feel free to
absolutely. But I'm concerned now because there's Flobo, and there was Flobo. So do we have like an enemy within situation happening here?
Oh yeah, it's the Terran version of me to do the show.
The Terra Flobo. Yes. Okay. We are talking tonight, of course, about Tuvix. And I forgot to load it. I sometimes like to do.
Can we talk about this, man?
Might as well. Let's do it.
We had this show. We actually experienced the show before. And I was blown away about how awful you guys subjected me to this. and for years I'm like, Joe, I swear to you, it better not be Tuvix. Like, oh no, it won't be.
Hey, I adhere to the man upstairs right there.
Yeah, that guy. Why are you forsaking me, John?
I'm telling you, Flobo, your take on look, I have seen hundreds of takes on Tuvix. I have seen maybe thousands, and it's a big controversial episode, and a lot of people have a lot of thoughts and a lot of feelings. But when you and I, Flobo, and I think it was like 3 years ago, we did the show where we talked about this episode, and Joe wasn't on it, so that's a great thing about this episode. We got Joe here too.
Thank you. And I'm sorry, Flobo, but with all due respect, I need my chance to talk about Tuvix also. Come on.
Absolutely. In that case, rescinded. I take back everything I've said.
Flobo's take on Tuvix is the funniest take I have ever heard, read, experienced, felt. His reaction to Tuvix was unique and wonderful, and I have to hear it again.
Well, I actually watched that episode, of course, more than once, and I have to hear it again also, but let's just, in all seriousness, let's just take this as a cautionary tale that, I'm sorry, but when Flobo and John have a baby, that's what you get. Just proceed lightly. Always be safe.
Oh yeah, please use 2 condoms. Yeah.
You know, one time Flobo and I were doing stand-up comedy, and I had lost a lot of weight at that time, and my wedding band was very loose.
Oh yeah.
And I waved my hands, and my wedding ring went flying in this dark club. And I think I mentioned it. And Flobo, what a man. What a man, what a man, what a man, what a mighty good man.
Yes, I am.
He got up, he found my ring, he brought it to me, and I made him put it on my finger because some old white wino women were walking in, and I wanted them to think we were a couple, and he was proposing.
That's yes ending, y'all.
Oh, I'm so sorry I didn't see that.
Yeah, so we're buying a grove next summer. Then we had to stick with the bit. We couldn't tell it was a lie.
Oh God. So let's get things started. We are what's the first thing? First thing.
Denny's did.
Let's talk about the genesis of this particular episode. This is, of course, from the series Voyager. It is from the second season. It is the 24th episode. Tuvix. Story by Andrew Shepard Price and Mark Gaberman. Don't know them. Teleplay by Kenneth Biller. Nepo baby. Directed by Cliff Bowl. And Tuvix is, kind of out of all of the Voyager episodes, it is pretty much one of the most controversial.
I have a question. This is for Commander Joe. I guess I forgot. Where do you rank Voyager? Is it one of your favorite series, least favorite series?
Great question.
Is in the middle?
Well, the answer I gave that question at the time was pretty much a cop-out. I just said, hey, it's all Star Trek. It's all one big universe. Well,
biggest cop-out.
Big cop-out, and especially since it's not even one universe anymore. So it's a collection of separate universes, as it were. Yeah. So I'll give you a more direct answer. Where do I yank Voyager? I put it fourth as far as an individual series.
Oh,
behind the other three. TOS, DS9, TNG.
Wow.
Do you go in that order, Joe?
Well, if I got to do an order now, my God.
Yeah.
DS9, TNG, TOS, and Voyager. That would be.
I feel like there's always one that people all can't stand, like Enterprise or Discovery. But you say I like them all, but Voyager's fourth. That's crazy.
Well, and I go by the Flobo philosophy in that Star Trek offers a different flavor of ice cream for everybody.
Absolutely.
Now,
until they
I'm
bring
not
in
Cleveland, man. I like Rocky Road. I love Rocky Road.
Oh, you're a fancy guy. I get it.
Yeah.
That's a payday ice cream, Joe. That's a payday ice cream.
Everybody is entitled to the Trek that they grew up with, the Trek that they went through good times with. Of course, being an old guy, I was watching TOS in syndication during the 70s. But I have to say, TNG, once they got to past the third season, I was into it. I wanted to see the next episode every single week. And then DS9, I thought was much darker and much more dangerous and not as happy and shiny as TNG. So that tends to be my favorite. But I've got a friend, Patrick, who's just like, oh, I love classic Star Trek. Voyager, oh man, it's the best. He considers Voyager classic Trek.
It's like 19.
Well, and I will clarify that I think DS9 is a better series overall than TNG, but I think I like TNG better as Star Trek.
Yeah.
So
copying
out once again.
No, I definitely get that. Hey, William, thank you for joining us yet again. Always a pleasure to have you, sir. They did a Lower Deck episode similar to this. This, of course, being Tuvix. Well, yeah, I mean, it's ripe. This fruit is ripe, and it is low-hanging.
Yeah, William refers to the Lower Decks episode of Tuvix, TWOFVIX.
Oh, nice.
which is not a direct sequel, but it makes reference and capitalizes upon the concept. So.
Yes. Well, it's ripe for comedy. All right, it is time for that most important part of the show. Let's take a look at every week here on Retro Trekkers. Our good friend Joe Townsel puts together a fantastic video presentation that lets us have all the same reference points, and we call it the beats. And it is time for us to take a look at this week's beats. Here we go.
God forgive me.
Retro Trekkers, take another look at the trouble with transporters. This time, from Star Trek Voyager, Tuvix. Tuvok and Neelix are on a field trip, looking for flower samples to collect. This is the kind of mission the Ingalls girls were always assigned on Little House on the Prairie. Oh well. So soon, after some playful banter, Tuvok and Neelix have gathered enough posies. Voyager's odd couple is transported back to the ship after their excursion and male bonding. Oh, whoopsie! Unfortunately, those wild and crazy guys have fused into one odd-looking dude. It's a weird humanoid mishmash of both Vulcan and Talaxian. Like a Phloxian or a Talaxican, maybe? What created this crazy combo anyway? Turns out it was the plant samples taken from the planet below. So much for those nifty transporter biohazard filters. And also, just how did this funky orchid merge their clothing into a fashion faux pas, combining Tuvok's uniform with Neelix's loud tunic? Well, that's never explained.
Yeah, it's not.
The Doctor is on hand for the birth of this new, albeit bizarre, life form. Congratulations, Proud Papas. It's a Nevok. No, wait a minute. It doesn't have the right ring to it. How about Tuvix? Okay. It's just as goofy. But what the hell?
I like Tuvok.
Spoiler alert. Tuvix won't live to see the end credits anyway. Everyone is pretty creeped out. So the Doctor gets right to work, splitting Tuvix back into separate beings. But Tuvix kind of likes his new handsome mug. What if he doesn't want to become two separate guys again? Oh, what a dilemma this might become. The Doctor asks Kes to have a look-see at Tuvix in the science lab. She's reluctant, as examining this guy seems a little bit creepy. Awkward! Especially after she finds out that the memories of both her boyfriend and her mentor are sloshing around in that brain of Tuvix. It's like Kes has found her way into some kind of kinky foursome. Ugh.
Or yeah.
Janeway is reluctant to return Tuvix to active duty, but does invite him to the senior staff powwow. He spares everyone a typical Trek technobabble lecture, and instead treats them to a wild floral babble theory. Okay, that's as good a confusing theory as any, so let's go with that. Later, Tuvix bumps into Kes in the corridor. Well, how about dinner, baby? They show up in the mess hall to find a dozen inept officers getting ready to burn down the entire kitchen and dining hall.
None of them could cook. None.
Tuvix to the rescue. He cleans it all up and then makes Kes her favorite alien crepes. Tuvix is becoming the new BMOV. That's the big man on Voyager.
Oh.
He is fast becoming everyone's BFF as well. This new guy with the best qualities of both Tuvok and Neelix. It's a killer combo. But alas, it may be necessary to kill that combo. Besides, Kes is missing her man. Tuvok is cute and all, but she does prefer that kissy face of Neelix. Tuvix comes to work and probably fixes some proximity detector doohickey, which Tuvok said would take much longer. So how is Tuvix so much better at Tuvix's and Neelix's jobs? Well, Aside from some the whole is better than the sum of its parts BS, it's never explained.
Oh,
Time for an experimental interlude. Paris and Taurus are planetside gathering more flowers. Now, why couldn't we get a fusion of those two?
No.
At least the result of that fusion wouldn't have necessitated a change in name. Paris or Taurus? Yeah, either one works. Well, anyways, when beamed up, the flowers they gathered merge into one pretty posy. But when splitting the new hybrid, well, the results are pretty horrific. Back to the old drawing board. Tuvix drops in on Kes, who's really missing her Talaxian squeeze right about now. He's come to her, heart on his sleeve, and tells her, I love my Vulcan wife, but oh, you kid. Kes is not interested in a polyamorous relationship, however, or even an interspecies threesome. So Kes drops in on Janeway, who is now in her jammies and getting ready to have some sleepy time tea.
Wait, hold on.
Do you have time for some girl talk, Captain? You betcha, girlfriend. Kes is really missing Neelix's mojo.
What 227 version is
So
this?
Janeway compares Kes's feelings of loss to the crew's blues about being stuck in the Delta Quadrant. Huh?
Joshua!
Montage time. Captain's log style. Janeway's dilemma grows with each passing hour Tuvix is allowed to exist. Turns out he's a better chef, security chief, pool shark, and witty conversationalist than poor Tuvok or Neelix. The mismatched pair who sired this offbeat offspring. Plus, with Tuvix, Janeway gets 2 employees for the salary of 1. So now he's regarded less like an accident and more like a super cool member of the crew. Yes, indeed. This Tuvix about town has become really popular with the Voyager crew. But that popularity is fleeting. The Doc finally finds a way to split him up once again into separate Vulcan and Talaxian. The crew is all excited at the prospect of having Tuvok and Neelix back. Tuvix who? Well, needless to say, Tuvix is not wild about this development. Janeway tries to put a guilt trip on Tuvix. Oh, be a team player. Sacrifice yourself. Yeah, right.
Be a good lad. Be a good
Getting
lad.
nervous, Tuvix pleads with Kes to appeal to Janeway. She does visit the captain, but with her own agenda. I want my boyfriend back, or there's going to be trouble.
Hey, hey,
yeah.
Well, no putting off the big decision anymore. Not that there was ever any doubt as to its outcome. Tim Russ and Ethan Phillips are still under contract after all. Sorry, Tuvix, old buddy. It's true that you're a lot less stuffy and more lively than Tuvok, and definitely far less annoying than Neelix. But the needs of the two outweigh the needs of the one. So, it's time to grow up here and allow us to split you up again into, well, a pair. Time for Tuvix to throw himself on the mercy of the court, namely the bridge crew. Well, they all but ignore him, like people pulling out their iPhones to record someone getting beat up. Tuvix makes a final, but futile, impassioned plea, tries to flee, and then runs right into some security guards. Okay, you win.
rough.
I'll go quietly. No hard feelings, gang. Hey, at least I got to beat Chakotay at billiards. You know, I just hope you all lose a lot of sleep over this. Now, don't be bitter, Tuvix. Upon arrival at sickbay, the doctor says he has a problem. Geez, now what? Well, it's that pesky Hippocratic Oath thing. I can do no harm. Sorry, just had to add one more last-minute moral dilemma into the mix. Well, the captain's annoyed. Fine. If you want something done, you have to do it yourself. So step aside, Doc. I'm going to get medieval on Tuvix's ass. I'll split the whiny Vocaxian or Talaxicant or whatever and get our lovable Tuvok and Neelix back.
Worst tea ever.
So Janeway activates the troublesome transporter. But then an even bigger boo-boo occurs. And now the situation is totally foobar. Tuvix,
Thanks for the haircut. I love it.
or is it actually Flober at this point, is still in one body, but now he has two heads. Yes, they're very handsome faces to be sure, but it looks like Janeway and the Doctor will have to try again. Oh well, back to the old drawing board.
Like a Starsky and Hutch poster.
Hey, Chris, thanks for joining us, man.
Hey, what's up, Chris?
Flobo, for most,
yeah.
you looked a little stunned.
You know what? I gotta be the first one to admit this. I didn't think the beats would be that thorough. So I was like, okay, yeah, it was totally a waste of our time. Screw the orchids. But you're like, no. This is what happened scene by scene. I was like, okay, it's pretty cool. It's pretty awesome.
Well, John, I think that's a great segue for Down and Dirty when you're ready.
I think it is. There we go.
What? Segment names. All right, yeah. Probably it's 80 in the red light district. Okay. Hey. You know, my dad owns this club.
We got some people in this chat who get down and dirty.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, Pastel has some kinks in there.
Chris, how are you? Flu is gone, but you just woke up from a nap. Oh man.
Well, this will wake you right up.
Yeah, this will
Take
wake
it from
you
me.
right up.
Stay as long as sick bay as you want. Milk it, because Picard won't put you to work.
That's true. I was watching a video the other day. You know, Steve Shives, he does Star Trek stuff like we do, except to millions of people. But he did a thing like working for Starfleet is the worst because, like, oh yeah, you know, the Borg get you and they assimilate you and then they save you and they pull all the stuff out of your body, and then your captain basically says, "Go stand at your station."
Yeah. Look at that wall. Think what you did.
There's never any like, you should probably, you know, ease back into work. Nope. It's like, nope, get back to work.
Right. Well, Chris is like, work, belay that order. I'm not going back to work. I'm retired.
And you know, John, as far as your comment about Steve Shives and his audience, I will make this comparison.
Yeah.
It's not the quantity, it's the quality of your audience. Right, everybody?
I'm going to say yeah, because I'm in the audience right now. Quality enter.
Oh gosh. All right. So here in Down and Dirty, let's break it down. What did you like? What did you not like? You know, I am gonna lead with this.
Please.
I'm not gonna build up to it. I'm gonna go straight to it. The other time we've talked about this, Flobo, what really got to you was the scene where Tuvix comes up to the bridge and stands at the security desk, the security station, and Captain Janeway comes over and basically says, "What are you doing? You're not a security officer. Get away from there. You're a cook. Go back to the kitchen."
Hands down, the most racist thing I've ever seen in Star Trek. He's like, "Ma'am, I'm a black man who's hurt. Get back to the kitchen. Make me my tea." You're like, "Oh, come on. Hello? Triage? Anything?" It was so rough. And I hated you ever since for it, John.
let me just say, like, we are all adults in this chat. You know, we're all adults and we're all fellas right now. We're all male, and how many of us would set a kitchen on fire trying to cook?
Fair enough.
I mean, I didn't want to go that obscure in the beats, but are we all Ricky Ricardos here that,
Yeah.
you know, can't make a pot of rice? Or,
Yeah.
I mean,
I have no idea. What I do know though, if I'm going to go and say, "Hey, Captain, remember there was two of us sent down and this one showed up," least be like, "Are you okay?" before you actually get back to work. And the thing is, we had saw on our previous show, we had saw the Tasha Yar episode, where she was like captured by this like African planet, and you're like, "It's probably racist." And I was like, "No, it's fine. I get that. I love Futurism. This got me so mad." All right, Janeway, so mad.
Oh, that's so true.
Well, that's how you know that Flobo is very insightful and wise, because I think you must be the only person on Earth that finds same redeeming quality in Code of Honor.
Yeah.
Shoot, we should have done that episode.
Now that's funky.
that episode, I just saw. I guess I've been watching a lot of YouTube. I saw an interview that. Oh my God, the guy who plays Worf.
Well, that would be Michael Dorn. Flobo's
Dorn.
favorite actor, Michael Dorn.
Michael Dorn.
He's a good actor. Worf, not a good character.
Michael Dorn was on the Michael Rosenbaum
Inside of You
podcast, and it was great. I advise anyone to go watch it, because there were some really hilarious things pulled out of there. But Michael Dorn was like, I'm not going to mention the title of the episode, but we did an episode that was so bad, like we literally don't talk about it. And that's Code of Honor. And Flobo's always been like,
I liked it. Hey, look, if you're gonna have a Space Africa, I want some space bunnies, y'all. Give me everything.
Yeah,
it made sense. It was beyond the pale, but it made sense. In space gets a wild thing. You know what doesn't make sense? Why two random characters are picking flowers, the transporter breaks, and the captain's like, "Where's my food? This chick isn't his." Hello. You want to see what's going on here, man?
Besides, Michael Dorn can't say anything. He didn't even appear on the Code of Honor.
Yes, exactly. No, but that's one of those, like, we talk about how we don't talk about it. That happens a lot with Code of Honor.
Yeah.
This one is, let's get down and dirty. I think this is an episode that's as important as In the Pale Moonlight, which I don't know if have you ever seen that one, Flobo? It's DS9, and it's Captain Sisko basically doing a captain's log, and he tells a story.
No,
about, I won't ruin it for you, but it's fantastic. I actually always wanted to do that show with you too, because I always wanted. So hey, maybe in the future we'll get that one done.
Let's do it.
But that's considered the one where Captain Sisko went over the line. He did not do good captain stuff.
Oh.
Now, getting back to Tuvix, I think this is the one where if there's any theme to this episode at all, I think it's like, Janeway will kill a dude.
Oh yeah. And it's weird because you'll give Janeway a lot. I mean, she took Chitose's job. She became a salamander one time. Fine. But she made so many mistakes in a 45-minute episode. It really calls into question why she's the captain.
The original version of what Voyager was supposed to be, I thought, everybody correct me if I'm wrong, but I thought there was always going to be tension between the Chakotay crew, who were all anti-Federation Maquis.
Yeah. They
were all resistance, and the very the very conventional Janeway and her very conventional Voyager.
Absolutely.
And that there was going to be all of this tension going on. And almost instantly, Chakotay becomes her supportive boyfriend, who asks so little.
Who's also racist against Vulcans at that time.
Oh, I'd forgotten about that.
Vulcan.
And Harry Kim with the Ferengi, but that's not the issue altogether.
Raphael, let me form that as a question for our. Do you think Janeway will cut a bitch?
She will lash a lass if she has to.
Well, of course, what John's describing is the great unfulfilled potential of Voyager. I mean, that was what we're looking forward to, and it, I think they did it once or twice within the first 15 episodes, and that was done.
Yeah,
one big happy crew.
Well, I guess you're pretty much going to be in a bottle episode every week if you're stuck on the ship. And how many times can you have conflict? I guess the writers gave up, much like how they gave up here in Tuvix. You had this giant problem, and you just had to wrap it up in 38 minutes. This is why I hate this. You do all of that for what? To go back next week and not talk about Tuvix ever again?
Well, I'm gonna go ahead and throw in one of my tidbits because it's relevant right now. But Tom Wright, who played Tuvix, he wanted to do more episodes. He thought he was hoping to be like maybe a multi-episode arc of some kind.
Yeah.
But he later in an interview said that, believe it or not, well, Janeway did the right thing, in what she did. That's debatable, of course, but it might have been a little bit more interesting and actually somewhat more tragic and not so comical if they had maybe extended it a little bit.
It's funny because I love how in the Beats, Joe, you pointed out there was the montage of all the scenes. If you want something to happen and something immediately after, it's a montage. All the scenes, and it just reminded me, maybe I'm just being weird, but does anybody remember watching Teen Wolf?
Well, sure.
And he's like Teen Wolf, like everybody, and he's even got the long hair in the back. And everybody's like, high-fiving him, and he's playing basketball. And I guess I'm thinking more Teen Wolf than I am of Tuvix. But yeah, everyone liked him. Everybody was getting to like him. They dangle it in front of you, and then they take it away, and they give it to Mommy Janeway, and she's like, "No, you kids, I'm going to take your toy away."
Yeah, the tones were all over the place. Like I felt like there was two things happening at once. I guess some writers want to be a comedy, like a fish out of water, like a Freaky Friday. You get like one scene like that, and that's kind of cool. But then it instantly goes into, we created life. What should we do? Well, let's just hit Control Z. See you next week. It's like on UPN after a brand new Shasta McNasty. Are you kidding me, John? Are you kidding me?
I know we did this the last time you and I did this together, Flobo, but I'm going to do it again. And I'm going to say, no, seriously, though, think about being Janeway. You had two crew members, one of them very important, Tuvok, and the other, some aging pedo.
True.
Got a 4-year-old.
He likes 2-year-old blonde. So what?
Right. 2 years old. Oh, but she's a very mature 2 years old.
Down and dirty, huh?
Damn. Yeah, that's so funny. My friend Tony Carey, a producer, they're nuts. Actually did some band surfing like Teen Wolf. I bet he did.
So rad.
Yeah, I'm sure that seemed like a good idea.
Wow, I was born too late.
Well, to your point, John, I mean, I'm gonna give them some credit, although I don't think this was the intention.
Yeah.
But I guess that might have been Janeway managing their expectations of being able to keep Tuvix around. So don't get too close to this guy.
I don't know. You can't really go back in time, but I get the idea on paper, right? You're a captain. You have this new life form. Everything they teach you in Federation things, so respect all things. But it was done by mistake. If I am somehow sharing my gut biome with a parasite, you extract that. So Janeway being like, "Oh, I don't know what I should do," and then 20 minutes later being like, "I'm just kidding." It's like it just to me always rang hollow. And for what? So Tuvix go back to the kitchen. John, what are we doing here?
I'm just saying the theme to the show is actually a good one. I don't know if the execution was where it fell, but and here's
that's a big part of it.
I mean, here's the thing.
Huge.
I don't know if anyone else is going to admit this, but I'm going to admit this. I actually really liked Tuvix.
Okay, the episode or the character? Because the episode was ass.
The character.
John, Captain, please share with us why or how.
Well, okay,
because you like Neelix too, right?
And
Tuvok is arguably one of the better Vulcans ever. So you rather have them together.
No, I always liked Tuvok. I thought Tuvok was a tremendous sort of extension of what we knew Spock to be, but he wasn't the same. He wasn't the same kind of he wasn't as young as Spock, and he wasn't half human. He was fully Vulcan. He lived a traditional Vulcan life. He had the very Vulcan control over his emotions. And, in many ways, he was a very conventional Vulcan. And that would make him like one of the first regular characters we ever had on Star Trek who was a full Vulcan, very conventional.
Well, as originally envisioned when they were creating the series, I mean, he was supposed to be an even older Vulcan, like senior citizen almost.
And that would have been
that wisdom to the crew,
That would have been cool. I mean, I like Tim Russ a lot, so yeah. I'm just happy the guy from Spaceballs who's like, we ain't found shit. I'm really happy we got that guy in Star Trek. That makes me happy.
Then to the Enterprise B, then the Voyager. It's a nice little career path,
Wait, but no, we can't skip over this. But you actually like Tuvix. I need answers, man. Explanations, formulas, something.
Here's the thing. Tom Wright, who played Tuvix, is a really great actor, and I've seen him in a bunch of great things. And I always liked him. I always thought he was a beam of light. I'm looking up to see, like, he was in a bunch of John Sayles films. He was in Matawan. I don't think he was in Brother from Another Planet, which was one of my favorite John Sayles films. But he worked with Joe Morton. Oh, he was in Brother from Another Planet. Oh my God. He also worked with John Fiedler. Do you remember John Fiedler?
I don't.
He was from the Grimjack episode. He had this really high voice.
Oh yeah. You don't forget that.
He played Piglet in the Disney.
Yeah, you don't forget that voice. Yeah.
But he did. Oh man, Tom Wright was in so many things, and just one of those actors who was always a guest star, never a lead. Never regular cast. And I like that, man. I like him. He's one of those actors. Oh God, he's blanking. He's blanking. Who's the guy who's in every Star Trek? Jeff? No. Who's the guy
That's a good Joe Townsel question.
Yeah, well, Joe Townsel's kind of falling to the wayside with our audience. They're just right there. Usually, I'm sure we'll get it from Raphael or somebody here in a moment. But
there are actors that Star Trek brings back a lot, and I would love if Tom Wright.
Jeffrey Combs.
Thank you, Jeffrey Combs. Thank you. That's exactly what I needed.
I still got it.
You still got it, Townsel, and you beat Rosario, which is
good. Because if I can do that, then I've accomplished something.
Actually, it's because Rosario was busy and he was looking up John Fiedler, who was in the TOS episode Wolf in the Fold.
Well, there you go. Yeah.
Well done, Ensign. Well done.
Okay, so riddle me this then. Riddle me this.
Yes.
If there were a situation where a Vulcan was mixed, like a separate character, and brought in, I think that can be great. But I think even at the script stage, the idea of putting two characters together, and it's not played for comedy. It's really played for, you're ruining my life as a mentor and my lover, then to have it be solved in 30 minutes. Someone should have said, it's kind of a big deal. we should at least break this up or toss it or something. No?
Yeah.
Well, especially at this point, since Deep Space Nine proved, you can do some serialization here.
Yeah.
Right. And so this could have been extended. And I mean, maybe it would just been even worse if they killed him later. But I think it would have carried more weight, obviously, dramatically.
I think you're right. And I think that the problem is more a problem that you can attribute it to the series Voyager.
Snap.
Because Voyager was all about we do not carry things over well. We want to do Lost in Space. You don't get much Federation. You don't get much Klingon. You don't get any of the things you really love about Star Trek.
Until the last couple of years, anyway, when they're
right. Right. And they were like, look, if we're going to make 7 whole seasons, we got to really, start servicing the fans. But at this point in season 2, they're still like, no, we're going to do it our way. And you want Star Trek, so you'll come to us, which frankly answers the question Raphael was asking. What would Kurtzman do? Would Kurtzman bring Tuvix back? I think he would, actually.
Oh man.
Though I think Tuvix would be like some dangerous, mysterious character, the way he made Harry Mudd like a psycho.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, you have to go back to the source of the problem, the transporter. I mean, the buffer, the pattern's in there somewhere. They have it on file. Just zap them back in. But it reminds me of something that this is a kind of a popular theory, so I won't claim ownership or that I created it, but I find it intriguing.
I will.
Okay, thank you, Flobo. Why not just Thomas Riker the dude, man?
Yes.
Split them into 2 pieces and then split one of those pieces into Tuvok and Neelix. Then you have all 3 happy guys.
Yeah. No, that would have been very Star Trek to make a 3rd guy. I mean, that actually would be very Seth MacFarlane to make
one
a
of them
third.
is Neelix, man. Nobody wanted more Neelixes. He was weird beforehand. That was the whole problem. Why are there Neelix-centric episodes?
Well, that's actually one of the things that I have to keep coming back to too. So thank you for bringing that up, Flobo. Which is, to me, Neelix. I don't dislike Ethan Phillips, but no one knew how to direct him. I mean, right at the beginning of this episode, do you know Mr. Vulcan? I want to say something, Mr. Vulcan. Like everybody, every time he does or says anything, they write him like a munchkin from Wizard of Oz.
Oh, yeah.
Well, particularly at this early stage in the series. I mean, I hate to say it, but once Kes was gone, they had to take him in a different direction that was a little bit more palatable, I think.
Yeah, I guess I could see that. I mean, he was a part of the series. I just accepted him. And I did that a lot. I didn't like Will Wheaton for years. It took so long for me. It took so long for me to get used to freaking Gate McFadden's slight English accent where she likes to say things like this. Like, yeah, you're married to an English guy in real life. Cut it out.
I just see you like clenching your popcorn bag. Like Noonien Singh over there in Discovery. Like, Raging World.
Josh just says, will Janeway cut someone? Tuvix proves that she'll go on full slice and dice.
Hey, right down the middle.
Well, let me ask you this, John, because you are a bona fide actor, right? You are a craftsman. Yeah, absolutely. And we understand sometimes on serious or adventure pieces there are comic reliefs. But what happens when, I think I asked this before in another episode, but what happens when your comic relief is so overwritten? You're fighting underneath to make this even plausible for it to be funny, and not you going waka waka waka.
Right. I had friends who worked on is it Family Matters? Is that the one that had Urkel?
Yeah.
That's the one.
Yeah.
Can I do that?
At first, and then became Fecal Matters, but continue. It got really weird at the end.
That's the best line from this episode right now.
But yeah, no one liked Wesley. That's a shame.
Shut up, Wesley. I think John said. I think he thought I said, "Shut up, Weber."
Shut
Come on, John. Come back to us, buddy.
Man, that was some high stuff. So I don't know. Well, Neelix being a 3rd guy is a terrible idea, and therefore I would veto this. Hey, he's back.
He's back.
It's been a week for this internet. This week has been one of the worst years for this internet.
I just thought it was great that I said "Shut up, Weber," and then you just
Shut up, Robert.
He's a good boy. He obeys.
I think the thing about a comic relief character is the director has to be there to put limitations on what they will goof up. Mm-hmm. And when you have different directors every week, then it's up to the producers. Mm-hmm. The producers are more the guides. And these particular producers on Voyager, I think, were some of the weakest guys they ever had.
Wow.
putting together a vision of the show and of a crew. This whole crew was boring to me. Tom Paris is not interesting. Kind of like Taurus, but then what did they do? They coupled her up with Tom Paris.
Kind of watered her down.
You will cheer for Tom Paris, damn it.
Have I ever told you guys this story? I don't think I've ever told anybody this story. So I have a friend who goes to every convention. She and her husband. And they saw Gareth Wang. So they saw the guy who plays Harry Kim. And Gareth Wang is always, she's seen him multiple times, and he is always in a thruple.
Oh,
go on.
He
Obviously, Ferengis though. He hates those, but
he is a super cool California, one of those cool guys, and the women love him. He's a total magnet. And CM Wang, Chick Magnet Wang,
well done. Well done.
out there just pulling the chicks. And he was always a good-looking guy. They could have at least given him that, but no. I mean, when they gave 7 of 9 a boyfriend on Voyager, who was the boyfriend? Chakotay.
That'll make Janeway
Well,
jealous.
well, who do you think drove her to lesbianism?
Exactly. No, that's so true. That is so true. She's like, oh, you know what? I might as well go for crazy tricks. Chick at this point. I've been with this crazy dude, Chakotay. Oh my God.
But for me, any interesting notion of an idea in this concept, and it's there. I mean, there have been other episodes, as we know, that involve transporter troubles.
Yeah.
But what brings this one down for me, as far as suspension of disbelief, is the execution is so poor. I mean, right down to like, what is this weird hybrid of uniforms that appears on Tuvix's body? And later on, I spared this in the beats, but later on when they separate them finally, how does Tuvix get a uniform? Where did it come from? I mean, just okay. Why didn't he give him back his old clothes? And where's the damn orchid anyway? I mean, it was there in there with him, wasn't it?
Where's the orchid? Oh my God, where was the orchid?
Thank you. I think the premise. So, okay, this is a really disgusting example. But one time I went to a comedy show and a guy gets on stage. He goes, "You ever feel like wanting to suck your mom's toes?" And all of us were like, "No, that never happened." So, do you believe Tuvix and Nix are out there picking flowers? No, that would never happen. Why are they doing this? It's a sucking toes of a premises.
It's the old sucking toes principle.
I'm just saying, I never saw them. I know crossovers are cool, especially when you go into the seasons of things and having characters get together, but I didn't believe in them for a second. That Tuvok will ever even be anywhere near Neelix. Then this happens, and then, of course, the cascade. So from the get-go, it didn't make sense.
You could have gotten a lot more done if you had had a different guy from security, which is what would have happened. They would have, they would have delegated to someone else in security. It wouldn't be the head of security who's the guy who belongs on the bridge. I totally agree with that. That principle is stupid. The odd couple principle that Joe, that you brought up, is just so put on. It's just so pasted on. It'd be funny. What if the really serious guy and the goofball have to go do something together? That'd be great. Yeah, you know what? You don't know what's funny. Shut up.
Man, we can look forward to a revisiting of this premise in Strange New World Season 3, it looks like, from the clips.
Oh, no. Oh.
Your face is you got to watch it now. oh, yeah. Second 31, now this. Oh, God.
Well, Flobo, I don't know exactly what our schedules are going to be, but when the new season of Strange New World starts up, we will be doing a recap and review show of it.
Yeah.
So, if you're available.
Absolutely. I'm caught up finally. Like I said,
hey, and in the meantime, I mean, Flobo brings up a good point. I mean, we subjected poor Eric Kramer to Section 30. We did make it up to him the following week. Now we owe one to Flobo for making him visit Tuvix not once but twice. So Flobo, the next time you're on, in very near future, I hope, how about if we let you pick the episode?
Absolutely. 1,000%. 1,000%. It could be anything. It could be
It's gonna be a
anything.
Discovery episode pre-Cleveland Book. No, I'm just kidding. We gotta find something in the living room
No.
from that.
Dude, I do this. I guess I do this a lot. I divide Discovery into the Discovery I liked and
Yeah.
then post Booker.
Yeah, it's funny because the jump ahead made sense, but as soon as
Yeah.
I'm a love interest, Mike. Like, oh god, I'll do anything for you, Cleveland. Like, oh come on.
Oh, well, the jump
no.
ahead on Discovery should have just been the series.
I mean, there's that too,
Yeah.
but I know they were stuck with the small window of time, so I get it. Open the
Yeah,
writer's
yeah.
room, I get it. And Linus with his rag was great, but once it became the Cleveland Booker show and My Planet this and why, I was like, come on. But,
Because it's I said this when we watched Section 31 too, because they did it again. They introduced Michelle Yeoh, and then they introduced this other cool character who's an augment, but he's a boyfriend. He's a freaking boyfriend. He's not his own character. He's supportive. Whatever you want, I'm behind you.
you know what? Now we can put this full circle. The reason why I didn't like Section 31 is very similar to this episode. You give me all the setup in the world. You give me all the premises. It's gonna be this big thing, and just squeeze every beat into this fast track. Hey, I'm the strong guy, and I'm the mean woman. It's like, what? I get it. You said your names. I said your archetype. I have a blue hat. Fine, and just get in and get out. And I felt like you could have spread that out a bit, right? Wasn't that supposed to be a series
Yeah.
at
You mean
all?
you mean like the dead Dalton walking concept? You know,
Oh yeah, like, you guys are a bunch of losers, but together we can solve the mission. Man, that is the most 1993 blockbuster night movie premise I've ever heard in my life.
Dude, it's like they watched the X-Men cartoon from the 90s and went, I've got an idea.
Well, it's funny.
This one's morph, but not really.
Right.
Anyway, let's take a look at some of these fantastic comments. I always wanted to yank Neelix's prosthetic off his head. Me too, frankly.
well,
Can I
he
tell
looked
you-
like John
can I tell
Weber.
your
That would be an
friends-
improvement.
Guys, I don't usually scream and rant and rave, but this episode gets me so mad. So
Oh,
I
yeah.
apologize.
Oh no, the blood boils on this one. No.
Now,
You
Code
know
of Honor, that's a classic. Now this one.
I love that you're okay with Code of Honor. That's just wild to me.
Works for me. I was a Tashiar fan. Remember, I was telling you for someone was watching, I was like, oh man, Tashiar's a favorite character. And you never told me anything. He was like, keep watching, Flobo. He'll be great.
I know what it is, Flobo. You were basically still coming off the high of seeing Tasha and Data the previous episode.
That's what I'm saying. I mean, she's fully functional. Am I right?
We had fun with that one. Yeah, we did the naked now. We had fun with that one.
Oh man.
Look, going back because we are really running behind.
Oh boy, I want to take on this.
All right, it's time for. Hang on, I gotta find I can never get this volume to work. All right, there we go. It's time for us to name our MVPs for this episode. Chat, who did you like in this episode? Gentlemen, I'll let our guest, Mr. Boyce, go first. Is there anybody who you liked in this episode?
The short answer is nobody. And you know why. But you know what? Even though she won't get another vote, I gotta go Janeway because she was the one cognizant enough to say, stop this stupid ride. Why do we care about something that doesn't exist?
Mhm.
And I'm really hungry, so get back in the kitchen. So that's
I like that Linux stir fry.
I honestly am one of those people who, even though I really liked Tuvix, I liked him a lot, but I totally understand the solution. I totally get it. I already had two people on my ship that I liked. I don't know why you like Neelix, but let's not sacrifice Tuvok. Let's not throw out the Tuvok with the baby in the bathwater.
that's it, Mitch. Joe, get to work.
Well, the thing that just kills me is that, okay, so they finally get the goof them back at the end, sitting there in identical Starfleet uniforms. Do they remember anything? Do they regret losing Tuvix at all? Or are they just, where have you been the last 45 minutes? That's never clear.
That's
Right.
never clear. And when they did this in DS9, do you remember the episode Facets, where different facets of Jadzia Dax's previous host,
Oh, yes.
Yeah.
They all,
occupied crew members,
yeah, they all went into different crew members and walked around for a day and had conversations and stuff. So Curzon, lusty Curzon
Oh
Dak
yeah.
goes into Odo, and the two of them are perfectly happy. And they're very conscious of it, and they're letting it happen. They really like, being this joined character. Frankly, the Curzon Odo was a great character.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Erdo.
I love seeing Renee Auberjonois having that much fun.
Absolutely.
Frankly.
Yeah.
But this one, not so much. And really, it just gets back to how I feel about Neelix. But
the scientifics of it all, right? Because you have the host and it's in someone's body. So we kind of know he had agreed, Odo had agreed. And if you agreed it was going to be a short term, that's the contract. But you essentially created a life. Well, we don't know if you can reproduce, but you created a life and you have a chance to undo that or else upset the balance of ecosystems and peoples. Yeah, you get that undone. I'm not sure why this is an issue and why it stretched out for so long.
Yeah.
So the question was, who's your MVP for this episode? Chris says, no one. Joshua says, no one.
They get it.
Raphael says, so you had a choice of losing Neelix or Kes, and they kept Neelix.
Well,
that was not really a choice because the actress who played Kes, whose name I don't instantly remember, had issues. Yeah, she had issues, and go look that story up. It's super sad.
Well, part of that story briefly is that for a minute, it might have been Harry Kim that got the axe.
Oh, really?
Instead of her. But you know what happened right around that time? He became one of People Magazine's sexiest guys for that year. Brought them a lot of press, a lot of notoriety. So I said, we'll get rid of her instead.
Wow.
Well, I was also under the impression that she was getting arrested for.
No, she had
DUI.
issues. I think it was a toss-up just because a lot of people did and still think that Harry Kim was kind of a useless, boring character.
I mean, he kind of was.
I think that kind of tipped the scale up against her when she started having issues.
Look, they love having that kind of virginial dork. That's what they used to do to Geordi. Geordi used to be like, I can strip down a warp core and put it back together blindfolded, but I can't ask a girl out on a date.
I get all Twitter.
Yeah, adorkable. I love it.
Hey, listen, I'm going to give an answer similar to Flobo's.
Yeah.
My MVP is not Janeway, but it is the actress. Okay, here I'm blanking. Catherine.
Kate Mulgrew.
Kate Mulgrew, thank you.
I'm good with that.
Given what she has to work with, especially, and really kind of down to the very last scene, it was a great performance. I mean, she conveyed regret and sadness walking out of that transport area. It was all in her face. There was no dialogue. There was no wrenching of hands. So I found it to be, along with Tom Wright, to be one of the two most effective performers anyway in this episode.
I can't argue with that. I do not like that she was so racist, but yeah.
Aside from the racism, she was cool.
Yeah. You mentioned it. Besides the racism, too bad.
It's kind of what's going on with Elon Musk fans right now. Yeah, but otherwise he's cool. Yeah.
Right. America first, except for South Africa. Right.
Hey!
Oh God, here we go. Flobo remembers.
Yeah.
My first graphic.
Oh my God, that's right. I forgot your first graphic. Time for Townsel's Tidbits. Joe Townsel.
I mean, in some ways we've come a long way. In other ways, maybe a little bit of regression. I don't know. You be the judge.
Here's a tidbit. Thank you for catching that for us, Ensign. Jennifer Lean playing Kes. That's right.
Not a tidbit heavy episode for me, but since I totally, and I think deservedly so, neglected to mention Harry Kim's clarinet playing, because it's like, number one, why? And number two, bad. But from IMDb, I will say that he was playing a little bit of Sonata in E flat major, Opus 20, number 2, by Johannes Brahms. So there you go.
Banger.
It wasn't row, row, row your boat. It was actually something, when played properly, was kind of a nice piece of music. We see the science laboratory for the first and I think only time, really. Maybe they had it back later, but it was a little cardboard set over here somewhere that gave it a sense of size. Excuse me. Tom Wright, who plays Tuvix, as we've established, later played Groth in Stormfront
Yes.
from Enterprise. Yes, he did.
Yes, he played an alien schmatzy.
Yes.
Oh,
Hey, and
Alien
speaking of
schmatzy.
which, one of Chris Rulebach's Chris bits is that the Maquis
that sounds dirty, man.
wouldn't be the first time he showed us his Chris bits.
Yeah, you want a Christmas? Not tonight, maybe.
But the Maquis was an actual resistance French group in World War
that's
II. That is correct.
Very cool.
Yeah, Trek has a propensity for naming areas of space or races after real things, in our time, like, the Briar Patch and, et cetera, et cetera. So,
Yeah,
Mm.
yeah.
let's
Go
see.
ahead,
I think there's a couple of goofs I thought they were interesting.
Yeah.
Maybe not. I'll just leave it there. You guys have anything? Any Flobo bits? Flobo bits.
Again, that's the OnlyFans version. No, I don't know.
Oh, and be sure to go to Flobo's OnlyFans. He is a working man.
I am. No, I don't have any tidbits at all. I mean, it's interesting because I'm hearing your perspective because you would think, I wonder what it will classify as a Townsel tidbit. Like, is it a lighting thing? Is it a goof? But I'm always surprised. So it's always a good time.
Oh, right. Just anything that sounds of interest. And sometimes I think of them all by myself. Sometimes I get them from other sources. But yeah, like I said, I mean, it wasn't the most complex of episodes, which again kind of led to its downfall. But what about you, John? Any?
Basically, what had happened was originally Ethan Phillips was supposed to play Tuvix.
That's right. I forgot about that. I'm glad you brought it up.
And
But that wouldn't have worked.
it would not have worked because they
It
would
worked
have
now. Yeah.
they would have had to do blackface, and that would have been terrible. So I'm glad they didn't do that.
It was UPN. I don't know.
Now, I'm going
Sparks was the
to
one
offer one more spoiler this episode.
Yeah.
This episode of being our show, in that surprise, surprise, in just a minute, Flobo's going to reach behind his neck. He's going to unzip his whole head, and Tuvix is going to pop out. Surprise!
Wow.
If we had that kind of special effects budget, trust me, we wouldn't spend it on that.
Right.
I mean, how heavily would they had to make him up? Ethan Phillips, that is, not Flobo.
I don't know.
Wouldn't carry that off because it otherwise, what is it, like 80% Neelix and 20% Tuvok? Yeah, and of course, Tom Wright's a great actor, as you say. So at least that way they went the sensible way.
Yeah,
And it was originally written to be much more of a comedy, which I don't think would have been any more successful. But the veteran stepped in and says, "No, we need to take this a little more seriously to make it work," and they didn't quite make it either way. So
It would have been a bad episode, but at least it'll make sense. Like what are you doing here? What are we doing here? Whoa, kind of a thing. That's why it would motivate us to be like, God, go back to what it was. But you gave us like this big philosophical discussion about what does it mean to create and destroy life. And then now we got to deal with Platypus Man coming after this on the next. It's like, what are we doing? It's like, UPN, why?
And now the secret diary of Desmond Pfeiffer.
Pfeiffer, yeah. Which
Well,
I loved.
especially
Also not racist.
it's
Also
depicted as
not
being
racist.
it's supposed to be depicted as an evolution of humankind. Return of salamanders. Okay, I guess we look forward to that.
Strap me in, man. The way this world's going now, I pick salamander duty. I'll pick salamander duty.
When Flobo and I used to do Starbase 80 together, I don't know that we fully went after the idea, but I always wanted to have a pretend cartoon that was Star Trek's Lizard Babies. Lizard Babies, oh. Tom and Janeway's Lizard Babies. Lizard Babies.
Six abandoned lizards on some planet, just waiting for a mom to come back.
Mommy.
Now
Mommy,
I should have definitely wrote a spec script for Lower Decks where the lizard babies come back. That's what I should have done.
That would have been awesome.
It would be strong enough, I think, for them to bring it back. Do it anyway.
Mhm.
All right, I think we are done. Any last things you want to put on this grave? Maybe liquids that come through your kidneys.
I thought you guys really liked me. You know what I mean? But thank you for inviting me on this episode. So mad for an hour.
Thank you for your anger, Flobo.
Well, the offer stands. You pick the next one, buddy.
Absolutely. No, seriously. Hey, next week we are going to watch an episode that I don't know that anyone except for me likes this episode.
It's okay.
Yeah, it's all right,
It's
right?
entertaining. I mean, it's not Tuvix.
It's a
Thank
deep
the Lord.
space. It's a Deep Space Nine episode. Quark finds himself married to a Klingon woman, and the episode is called "The House of Quark," and it contains some of my favorite stuff in there. I do love that the little kid, Ferengi, I don't know if you can tell, is Joe.
Yeah, I might have made myself a little bit too much. But
I love your
my
foundation
nose
blending,
teeth.
sir. Yeah, the makeup's impeccable.
So catch us next week at this time, 7 p.m. Tuesday night, and we will be giving you Retro Trekkers as we watch The House of Quark. So do yourself a favor and watch that episode. This coming Sunday, we are going to present to you one of easily one of the best Retro Rangers episodes ever. We're bringing back Battle of the Retro Stars. Have you ever seen these, Flobo, when we show Battle of the Network Stars from the 70s?
No, but this graphic is everything. Is that Mork in the Hulk?
Well, I make these graphics, Flobo, based on the celebrities who appear in that episode of Network Stars. So all these people appear in it.
Wow.
And I noticed it's like they're all from sci-fi channels except for Charlene Tilton, because I was going to use that regardless.
Are you Mr. Rourke? What's going on over there?
No, that's not me. It's just we're just the broadcasters over on the right.
Oh, okay.
But
I was like, Fantasy Island was that cool?
no, but this episode of Network Stars does have Robin Williams, William Shatner, Lou Ferrigno, etc. So,
and literally David Letterman. Like David Letterman is literally competing in sports on this one.
It's awesome. He was still on the short-lived Mary variety show.
Oh, is that what he was
at this time? Yeah. So he wasn't even doing talk shows yet.
Oh.
Godspeed, fellas.
This is what it's all about, man. William Wells, you met the Hulk. Fantastic.
Wow, that's great.
I tried. I couldn't afford an autograph. It's like $70 these days.
Oh
man.
Well, it takes a lot of money to keep an aging Lou Ferrigno going.
Right. That's like 2 Joe Weber autographs.
Like 200.
Oh, now we're talking.
This Thursday, I hope you'll join me on Mr. Weber's Webo Mystery. I'm going to play you a radio show that I don't know if it qualifies as a mystery. So we are asking the question, she's engaged to who? And I do have to admit, it bothers me that I did not do this correctly, because it should be she's engaged and married to whom?
Whom?
It should be whom.
What is the actual title? Or is that the title?
It's actually an episode of the Edgar Bergen and Charlie McCarthy show, and it's called Charlie is Engaged to Marry Marilyn Monroe.
Well, the thing is, John, when you first provided this graphic for me to format for you, the very first thing I zeroed in on visually was the potential grammatical error.
Oh.
It wasn't the hot blonde over on the left. So
it wasn't the 2 Freedom Towers in the back. Like what alternate New York City is that? It's like 2 World Trade Centers in the back there.
I know. Look, AI doesn't understand. You only get one of those per city.
Right.
Well, yeah, you're right about the World Trade Center. Oh my God. Yeah. Somebody read a newspaper to AI, because they're not up on the skyline. So that'll be Thursday. Catch us basically at the same time that this show debuted, 7 p.m., but it's on Thursday, February 13th, 10 p.m. over on the East Coast, where so many of our friends are, including Joshua. And I really want to see it for that show. That's going to be fun. And I guess
it's Hollywood Legends all month long on Webo Mystery.
Well, thank you so much, Mr. Townsel. You sell the show so much better than I do.
That's just, I think it's an important detail we need to include because it's going to be a great month.
I appreciate it. I also appreciate Ensign Rafael Rosario giving me the idea because he was looking at my ratings on Web of Mystery and he was like, brother, you need some help. You better get some famous episodes.
He said, "Get back in the kitchen and sit." No, I'm kidding. You would never say that because you're a good captain.
Hey, what's the lesson for today? Quality, not quantity.
Quality, not quantity.
Right.
That is the theme of the day, indeed. Okay, so yeah, you know something? My wife loves looking at statistics. She's the smart girl.
Yeah.
And so she was
Very
looking
good.
she was looking at my YouTube statistics today, and she was going, you have a lot more viewers than you have subscribers. So you got to start pushing that. And you guys are usually great at like saying, hey, John, like and subscribe. Like, yeah, everybody, please like and subscribe. Make sure that you're following Weber Internet Thingy on YouTube. Please. I appreciate it so much. I need to bring my numbers up so I can get a little love from YouTube. Because right now I'm getting very little love from YouTube.
I heard that.
Flobo knows. He's seen that struggle.
YouTube leaves me on red. It's crazy.
I think that's it. We already did our joetownsel.com commercial.
And we had that, and it's great as always. And thanks to John Weber. And of course, we have another endorsement from Flobo Boyce himself. So there it is. He is an enthusiast and deserves it. I do appreciate it.
Yeah, man. Why not?
Gentlemen, is it time for us to give the big LLAP?
Let's do it.
All right, I do want to throw this up. William is giving us a little Doctor Who reference, which I love. So there you go. And there's Chris. 3 forms of lies: a lie, a damn lie, and statistics. Mark Twain. Also, one of my favorite Star Trek characters, Mark Twain.
Yes.
Not really. I didn't like
That was very Ken Burns documentary, Mark Twain.
Oh, wait. Is this the outro? It is. Okay. Good night, everybody. LLAP, baby.
Yes, get my LLP here.
Retro Trackers. Retro Trackers.
Woo!
Retro Trackers. Retro Trackers. Let's get it done. Retro Trackers. Retro Trackers. Reviewing has some fun. Recap, review, retro, recap, review, trackers. 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 Made to order, a love so sweet. Even for too long, well, now it's so deep. Or the object of your lust, force the dream to come true. Now there's no one you can trust. They're coming to